All right, Carrie McPhee back from Waterside Surfside Grill, and we're making Parmesan Peppercorn Flounder. And I have to confess, I looked at that and I said, oh, it's rockfish. But it's not.
Nope.
It looks like rockfish, though, doesn't it?
It does.
Kind of. Thank you for giving me that. So what's the basics of this recipe before we get started?
Well, right here is all the ingredients for the peppercorn Parmesan sauce. We'll mix all this together, and then we'll bake the fish. You cook the fish about 80-90% of the way, bring it out of the oven, spread the sauce on it, back in the oven.
Okay. All right, I have questions about that. I'm going to save them. But I did notice over here, no hot saute pan today. This is one for the oven.
Yes, it is.
Okay, if folks had, say they did have a favorite fish that wasn't flounder, will this recipe work on whatever they want?
Of course it will. Mahi-mahi, rockfish is very good also. I like to do it with a white fish.
Okay. So when you're buying it from the seafood market or wherever you're going, anything in particular? Because the fillets that you have here, they all seem to be about the same size, same thickness. But sometimes when you get a fillet, say at the grocery store, you get the real fat end and then you get the thinner end too.
Right. You just have to, cut it in half and adjust the cooking time.
Can you be picky and say, don't give me that thin side?
Of course, you're the customer. You should be able to get what you want.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're not going to talk too much more about the fish because it's prepped. You're just going to season a little bit and then it's going in the oven.
Right.
We'll do that in a couple minutes. So now let's talk about the topping.
Okay, all we're going to do, it's equal parts of mayonnaise, sour cream, and shredded Parmesan cheese. Very important, use shredded cheese, not the ground Parmesan.
Okay.
Helps bind it together. So we're going to mix all three of these together.
All right.
And then I'm going to add some coarse ground pepper also. We're going to add a little bacon bits.
Can't go wrong there.
A little bit of scallions.
Now, how come this mixture is not going to be smeared over the fish before you even start baking it? Will it just disappear?
It would, melt off. It would burn before the fish got done.
Okay.
So we cook the fish most of the way, and then we add the sauce at the very end.
Now, you've got the oven on 400.
Right.
I was a little surprised at that.
Why is that?
I don't know. I thought it was kind of high for fish.
No, not at all.
But I don't know how to cook. I'm here to learn. So it's all right?
Yes, it's all right. It'll be fine.
Okay. And how many, just a few minutes in there? Just 10 minutes or so?
Depending on the thickness, like you said, this is
Yeah.
probably going to take about 8 to 10 minutes.
Okay. So after we have those ingredients mixed together, I guess you can kind of set that aside.
Right.
And then how did you want to season the fish before it goes in the oven?
I have some clarified butter, Old Bay, wine, fresh lemon, a little bit of chicken stock.
And that's all going on now? Boy, that sounds great just the way it is.
It would be good, but the Parmesan is excellent.
I believe you. I believe you.
Wine here.
Wow. Okay. So it's almost like braising in the oven. Would that be accurate? It's a lot of liquid on the plate. You can say no.
Well, the wine's going to cook away. So actually, I'm going to put a little chicken stock so it does not dry out.
Okay.
But at that high temperature, the alcohol will cook out of the wine.
Right.
And that's
But you
it.
still wouldn't call that braising?
No, not at all.
Okay. All right, then. That's what you're Okay, so this goes into the oven. We can go ahead and throw that in the oven now. And then when we come back in our next cooking segment, Carrie will take it out of the oven and kind of show you how to apply that topping. And we'll talk a little bit more about what's going to be going on at Waterman's Grill very soon here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You can stand down. In the kitchen with Executive Chef Carrie McPhee from Waterman's Surfside Grill this morning. We're making Parmesan Peppercorn Flounder today, and the flounder has been in the oven since our first segment because even though you're putting a wonderful topping on it, you said not in the beginning of the cooking.
Right. We'll wait. It's about 90% done, and then we'll finish it off with the topping on it.
Okay, I'm going to let you get it.
Okay.
But you did put a few things on the fish, over the fish before you baked it, just so it wouldn't dry out. Let me test my memory. White wine, chicken broth, clarified butter.
Right.
Yes.
And lemon.
And lemon. All right, 3 out of 4, not too bad. Boy, don't those look good. And I mean, this looks perfect just the way it is.
Oh, it'd be very good.
But we're taking it to the next level.
All we're going to do is just spoon some of this on. Nice, even coat on top. Like I said, you can add crab meat to this and be even better.
Yeah.
Goes well on chicken also, out on the grill. Put it on right before the chicken's done. Very good.
And you said it's a kind of a mayonnaise sour cream mix, scallions, and there's Parmesan and pepper in there because it's Parmesan peppercorn. But you were saying to make sure you use kind of a shredded Parmesan and not the grated.
Right, exactly. It helps bind it together, and it melts on top of the fish too.
So if you had put it on in the beginning, we wouldn't even see it. It would have disappeared.
it would have fallen off.
Just the last few minutes then. So how much longer does it go back in? Because you said the fish is about 90% done.
Exactly, probably 3-4 minutes.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, let's talk a little bit about Crush Fest.
April 17th, third annual. We're expecting a big crowd this year.
Okay, tell me about the beneficiary.
It's going to be Surfers Healing and the Children's Hospital. We'll be offering $5 donation for a barbecue buffet. We also have a mechanical surfboard that'll be out in the parking lot.
Oh, man.
$5, and that'll go to Surfers Healing. Have 2 bands, a DJ. We're expecting a couple thousand people there.
Yeah, well, this Crush Fest has gotten a bit of a reputation. It's a really fun, exciting time.
It's a good time.
Where you must pace yourself.
It's a long day. So.
All right, well, we'll let you get this back in the oven, and we'll take a peek in just a few more minutes. All right, back in the Hampton Roadshow kitchen with Executive Chef Carrie McPhee from Waterman's Surfside Grill. This morning making the Parmesan Peppercorn Flounder, which should be done.
Yes, it is.
All right, so get the oven ajar, just so it doesn't get too hot in there. Oh, look how nicely that did. All right, and we talked a little bit before about how the fish was baked about 90% before you put the topping on. So how do you know when it's done, or it's just you've made it enough times?
Just made it enough times, can tell by the thickness. A little light touch can also help.
So if you're making it at home, it's a nice golden brown, everything's kind of melted together. And that looks really good. All right, I'm going to get out of your way so you can go ahead and plate it up for us. We're going to give it a try in a few more minutes. And again, don't forget, it is time once again for the Orange Crush Fest.
Exactly.
I like the poster this year, too. That's really neat.
April 17th.
April 17th at Waterman's, and the beneficiaries.
Surfers Healing and the Children's Hospital.
Most folks are familiar with the wonderful things that Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters does for us here in Hampton Roads. But if people are not familiar with Surfers Healing, tell us a little bit about that program, Carrie.
Well, every year they have the camp right out behind the restaurant, and we participate. We supply food and lunch for the kids, and it's a very big event. I believe it goes on 3-4 days, and they take the kids out in the water on surfboards, and
not just any kids, right? These are kids with autism and other challenges. Probably kids that at some point someone said probably would never be able to surf or do a lot of things.
Exactly.
Yet there they are.
Yeah, just to see the smile on their face when they come in and ride the little waves in, it's neat.
All right. So 2 great causes to go out there and support on April 17th. Don't forget about Crush Fest at Waterman's. In the meantime, the Parmesan Peppercorn Flounder looks delicious. We're going to give it a try in just a moment, and the recipe and the how-to will be at thehamptonroadshow.com.